All right, so let's head into this first map. What's it going to be? It will be Battlefield of Eternity, G-Clef here for game number 1. Bans on Braxis and Warhead Junction, so pretty standard all around here. Nothing strange or out of the ordinary, not even slightly, as we've come to expect. The BOE map pick will be that of Miracles, so one of the most famous MVP maps will come in.
Yep, and Miracle oftentimes, recently with the hyper carry, Dami has been the one on Greymane. Even Vala, when time needed, since Crazy Moving went into a tank role, they seem to be doing similar things that MVP Black has been showing, really putting... They were the first few teams to play lots of Lucios in Korea, even banning from some draft, and we were wondering why does... Maybe they're on to something new, and they were, even starting from 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. And it's quite interesting to see how this meta has shifted and how it's kind of standardizing a little bit right now. Let's see if Miracle allows the Morales through. Morales is funny because I don't feel like she could be first picked, but she can be picked in second rotation like we saw from Tempest in their second draft there. It was banned in both other games. Banned the Ariel. So now RRR is going to be Ariel-less as they head into the Greymane pick.
Greymane first pick, they... Oftentimes their... Greymane used to be, even before Greymane rose up, they used to even first pick Greymane sometimes because that was the best DPS they could ever had. So, still keeping the same, picking Greymane over lots of other supports though. There are lots of other supports, tanks, top tier tanks like ETC. Still, they sometimes pick Stitches, but a little out of the meta right now. And Miracle, they have all the tools. They can just pick up Tastar along with a second, third DPS, Uther, or another support. It's
what
also
about
good.
Morales Tracer? Because we just saw that in this exact same situation. The Ariel removed, and this is what we saw from Tempest. I think they're going to take a page out of their book and start the Morales Tracer train. Very strong on the map, but you have to be able to get those consistent picks because you will not win the race with this. But as you saw, if you can win the sustain war with the Morales and have a good, solo kind of racer, like Artanis was the hero that fits this bill. I don't know, someone who just rushes the Immortal down with the amateur opponent, then this comp does really well. Vala's removed. They chose they chose Greymane instead, so they still have that in terms of their racing potential. I wonder what Miracle will get. Will RR give the Artanis? Will that become a standard? That's what we don't know, and that's what we are looking to find out. Not that this match will be indicative of the greater, larger meta, but it'll at least be one more piece of a greater puzzle.
Certainly right, and picked up Arthas, which is a little bit, seems like a little bit early for Arthas to appear. But Uther, of course, will be a great pick, providing some armor to Greymane when he dives in or he's just poking from the side. But they do need a secondary source of support. They very likely will be going into a double support. And as I was wondering, maybe ETC could have been a better choice compared to Arthas.
Tastar will be banned. Now, this is the big question, and I actually do agree with you, by the way. The ETC, I think, could have been a better pick here. Is it going to be that Artanis pick? They can save it for 5th pick. It doesn't have to be picked here. When we saw the Tracer Morales on BOE, it was with Uther last time. This time it's not available. So, would have to be something like a Rhaegar, who, in my opinion, is much weaker than Uther with this composition. I suppose Kharazim could work. We saw that used on Towers of Doom. But you basically just want to win this long, long sustain war with hypermobility that Tracer provides. Now, is Crazy Moving as good of a Tracer as Sign is? No. So this game will look different regardless, but it feels like we're at least going down the same path in terms of thinking here. So they're going to try to buy time defensive with this Tracer and win the race. Rhaegar will be the secondary support. That was pretty predictable based on the Tastar ban and the Uther being taken away.
And seeing Tyrael here, I think they made a choice that they will likely be picking another DPS that could race for the Immortal. Also pretty strong in the solo lane. Could be Sonya, could just be Marthail, as Dami can play both of them.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. Like, the solo lane becomes really interesting because even Tyrael could solo lane. They could like pick a mage here or something. This draft has infinite possibilities.
By the way, Kel'Thuzad is allowed. It's just never seen in the draft today.
Yeah, probably won't see it today. Probably not see it tomorrow either. But you guys can still hope. Bless RNG and all that. I know that's what you guys love to do. Like, oh, he misclicks it and picks on him. No, it's probably not gonna happen.
And then he picks Kel'Thuz instead.
Ah, KT, wrong KT. Hey, HGC loves her. He loves her Kel'Thuz. All right, Kharazim is going to be the support here. We got the Muradin is the main tank. Arthas will be a secondary tank, solo laner. So you're picking a hero that has to face off against the Arthas. It's not going to be easy for the Sonya that Dami is likely thinking about here. The Malthael will fare better. The Malthael doesn't have any counters on the side of RRR. I like the Malthael. Secondary DPS is possible. I mean, in terms of just a straight mage or something like that. They don't necessarily have to pick a top laner because Tyrael's there, but that's not really meta anymore. We touched on this earlier. This is going to be the Malthael. Good call, G-Clef. But now, drafts completed here. Miracle sticks to the new style that we're finding out about this week, and a little bit last week we saw with the Morales rising in popularity, and RRR sticking with the old style. So we're going to be two clashing styles here as we head into our opening map, of BOE, Battlefield of Eternity. Should be a good series, guys. We're heading into the last one of the night. Miracle versus RRR. We'll see you in the Nexus. In blue, MVP Miracle. Judy on Malthael. Dami on Rhaegar. Interesting flex there. Jaehyun on Morales. Crazy moving on Tracer. And Sniper on Tyrael.
And in red, RRR. Odok on Uther. MSG on Arthas. EZZ on Greymane. Kong on Muradin. And Phantom on Kharazim.
I wonder if they'll put Rhaegar in the solo lane. At least, you know, temporarily. It puts a lot more pressure with Malthael in the bot lane.
We'll see if there's any lane swaps that may happen.
That would be really interesting. Not going to happen, though. Kharazim will be the solo laner to start. MSG finds himself a little bit caught here. He will rotate up eventually, but they don't want to lose any experience, so Kharazim has to be the guy, and has actually happened a lot on this map to have a solo lane Kharazim for a little while. Focus Morales is the way here. Looks like it will be successful. Nicely done. Miracle didn't know who's in the bush.
Stunned, rooted, and gone. Focus Morales was the answer, but is that going to work all the time? I think picking Muradin, having the Dwarf Toss coming in for providing some extra CC. RRR has a pretty good team comp actually to deal with the backline Morales, but only if you can come in from those blind bushes from the side if you're positioned. And that really leaves you into a dangerous zone as you're Muradin yourself. But it may not work all the time.
Definitely not going to work all the time, but works a lot when Miracle just doesn't check the bush, doesn't actually gain vision. They're going to try to punish this aggressive extension here of EGZ because Crazy Moving have a pulse bomb. He does. Will he place it? Nice. Still not going to get the kill.
Just not enough. If Tracer was not stunned for the moment, I think pulse bomb with extra bit of damage could have been enough for the kill. Kong saved Greymane's life there.
Have you been noticing the same trend I have, that we're seeing this new... I feel like every player who suddenly becomes a support right now is the player who's played like 3 roles and like was never really great at any of them. You know what I mean? Like, it's like suddenly I'm watching Dami on support and I'm like, okay, like he was great in 2016, but this year he's like been confused. Maybe he's finally figured it out.
We'll see. We'll see if they become the best support in the world, as he's going diving in. He's doing damage right now.
Can't extend this deep into a Tracer, unfortunately. It's not going to work. Pulse Bomb's going to land onto Phantom here. He will survive at the end of the day, but dive that deep, you're going to get burned. So this is an incredible position for Miracle because they have Malthael. They burn through this real quick with the Tracer. Tyrael soak the bottom lane. So they even get like a, what, 10% experience lead.
We'll see as they're making the transition. Some can be good at all of them. That's where flex comes in. I think a lot of the players are flexing in to support and also DPS.
This is like when I look at like Dami, Hankono, Mora, these players that were like mostly solo laners, but didn't find that much success in the front line this year. They found much more success last year. I love to see them play a different role, and it's very refreshing, and it seems to be working really well for them. There's those high skill cap players that didn't find success, but can now find success with their skills in another way. That it's really interesting to me.
So let's see. I'm keeping my eyes on Phantom a little as he is the new one in the game tonight.
And that flex Karazim. Solo laning it. Will find himself running into Malthael as he heads back bottom lane.
Maybe killed even. He's going very low. Does dash out barely.
But he's stuck here, which is exactly what Judy wanted. Commentating the minimap as we do, as our observers just like, let's watch this Immortal hit these.
Is that how Immortal sounds? No. Okay, Kong.
Well, it depends. Like Beleth does on a bad morning. It's a little bit hungover,
nice
but
grenade there.
the Immortal on the left side is a little bit less. He's a little bit more clear when he speaks. He went home. He went to bed early last night. So that grenade not as good as the previous one. Kong's looking for a pick. Fortunately, not going to happen. But Karazim is struggling in the bot lane. Part of this goes back to the intercept we saw from Judy. In fact, while Phantom clears the bot lane, we're going to see this rotation up from Judy because he knows it's going to be a heavy contestation here. Heals just enough of the safeguard to save Crazy Moving. This could be a disaster for RR. Need to get out of here.
Judy is here now, join the team fight. Of course, loses Tracer, but another DPS appears from the wild.
Judy.
He's taking the team apart. Phantom is a second too late.
No communication from Phantom as well. Remember, mostly a solo queue player. Has played in some open division games for sure, but this is the most professional setting he's ever played in, and in a moment like this, he certainly should have called bot MIA when Phantom is alone down there. Judy's coming up, and sure, Tracer died with really good focus fire from RRR, but Judy not only came in and did all the damage in that fight, the way he controlled it, he hit Muradin first, then did the extra damage, then used his teleportation skill, his W, to get behind the Muradin there to ensure the double kill. That was really well done by Judy, and I think RRR should have been more willing to give that camp up, knowing he was missing bot, knowing he was rotating up. They could have assumed perhaps he was doing the camp, but you never want to make assumptions like that. Too risky.
Yep, because Phantom starts from when he tried to rotate down, Judy was already in the bush, did tons of damage to Karazim, forced the late rotation to the bottom. It all started from there, and Miracle made the right choice to go for the camp timing. RR, they had to come and defend. Maybe they could have just backed up after a little bit. Way too aggressive. They were punished for the late rotation, of course.
Certainly. Well, Dami is soloing top as the Immortals do spawn. He's going to head down. Does actually have Lightning Bond. That Wolf Run's take him a little bit longer, but he'll be here shortly. Crazy Moving getting those heals. Odug finds himself between two stuns, does get out, but look at the damage Judy is putting off again in these team fights. No Lucio, so obviously the AoE heal is sorely missed against this. No Tyrael either. There's a Pulse Bomb connection. And again, RR is just being out-sustained by the Morales. They're getting so much AoE damage on them from the Malthael that's dominated the solo lane. These are things that you don't think about in draft necessarily until it starts happening to you, and you look and say, wow, I mean, this hero that we let go through the Malthael is just strong against everything we've planned. And look at this again. Judy is doing the majority of this damage. Crazy Moving is just looking for finishing picks.
And Phantom may be picked alone if he's onto the side like that all the time.
If Crazy Moving had a Pulse Bomb, that would have been a pick. He did not. This clear is completed for Morales. Very early here, 7 minutes.
He's getting some stacks onto the cocktail, but it will take a long time. And when we talk about long time, Miracle may hit level 10 before. As there's a pulse bomb onto Odug. Tracer is recalled, barely manages to escape that. He almost took Tracer out.
Oh, she gets the kill here, actually. She's living. with these Uther heals. HGC trying to fight the Morales, but the focusing didn't go so well this time. Too low on health. Phantom doing the dance of death there. Wasn't sure if it was required for him to save the murder or not. So he's like, well, I'm here for you, bro, if you need me, but I don't want to go in if I don't have to. So now they're going to do a lot of damage. Just remember, the DPS of both teams is gone, but the DPS of RR is solely in the gray main, where, as you were mentioning, the Malthael is kind of a pseudo DPS solo laner, can crush the Immortals. So Miracle already ahead, gets further ahead now with this trade, and they have heroics online. Stim drone Malthael could be a thing. Let's wait and find out.
Let's see.
Nano Malthael confirmed in the future. All right. They hotfix Genji yet?
Well, that Dragon Blade, Nano Blade seems pretty powerful in Heroes of the Storm too. And Stim, I think, of course, a lot likely to be on Tracer. And she will wipe the targets out. And we even see Skullcrack coming out from Murd, and they need some extra stun to make sure they have some stun, even if it's a short one, to hit another CC onto Tracer so that they can get a kill. I think they need a lot more CC than this.
They have been pretty good at locking Crazy and moving down, but HGC has to do the damage there when he is stunned. Like, we've seen several times he's stunned several times, but Jaehyun's just like, yeah, well, I'm Morales though, so lol. But you have to then use the go for the throw now that they have it at 10. Like, now they have more opportunities to get that finishing pick.
So that's why they're locking in Divine Storm instead. They want to lock Tracer in, get the kill. Crazy Moving has to be careful here.
It's very risky though with a player like HGC. 7-sided, going to hit 5 different members here. Not going to really do a whole lot of damage. And here comes Judy trying to set up for that amazing damage. Divine Shield here, or rather Sanctification, is going to allow for it. And Tormented Souls are going to torment everyone on the side of RRR. HGC does survive here, but this could be a keep down, as it's just not looking like they're going to walk out of this one alive, G-Clef.
They still have to have Ancestral, and another Pulse Bomb just built and can be used for Crazy Moving. They will be looking for keep, maybe even try to rotate and take the top fourth also, because they have a lot of time. Let's see,
back off.
Is going for the camp right after, I guess.
One of the reasons I'm worried about this Divine Storm pick is because Malthael can kind of cleanse himself, as we've talked about many times. They do have cleanse on the side of Dami as well. And when you have this kind of composition that's based on picks on the side of Miracle, where they're trying to allow Tracer to get in the backline and kill HGC, having that panic button, that save button, to keep HGC alive, who's, I mean, to be totally frank, she's always been a DPS player, always been a mage player, but not as well known for her gray main positioning. I feel like being able to empower her to do more damage, allow her to play riskier, because she's not as experienced on this hero as some of her other mage heroes at this stage. It's been mostly been playing Tastar recently in part 2. I feel like when you have the Divine Shield, you allow this player to do a lot more, but without it, sure, you might be able to get that legendary stun combo. Speaking of stuns, but I feel like the utility of the Divine Shield is always going to be better on this team with this player.
They do have solid 2 tanks in the front line, but the other side has percent damage, and if you do not have Palm or Divine Shield or either one here, then you should be the one pressing in, not falling behind all the time. Maybe you can make the perfect window to go turn things around, but I don't think that's likely, as there is Sank and also Ancestral available on the other side.
Almost looks like Miracle just wants to go for the kill here. Look at this. They're going to get MSG. I don't think there's any way out of this one. Divine Shield not available. Remember, Pulse Bomb comes through. Lot of healing. There's the Divine Storm. Sync is used. Doesn't actually connect with the recall. 7-sided might get Judy here. Ancestral fails. They do a lot of damage regardless, though. But now HGC is going to try to carry this fight.
Now that's how you throw. Okay, man. That was not the most impressive coming out from Miracle. To Sanctification, late Sanctification after the Tracer recall.
Not placed on the recall either. Like,
close to -5 in that team fight. And Divine Storm actually was used perfectly right there.
Yeah, I mean, after everything I said, when you literally overextend as far as you possibly can.
Nice Storm to lock in multiple targets, and the best thing was having MSG low health, but he survived. That's the thing.
Miracle wanted to get that pick to win the game because they had Sank available, but Ancestral was too late, Sank was too late, the angle was always poor. They basically hugged Uther. They were like, all right, let's try to stand in the way that gives you the most possible chance to Divine Storm. It was sloppy. They're still massively ahead. They're still keep up, and in fact, Catapult's going to start hitting the core soon. They will win this Immortal phase, barring a huge mistake again from them. But yeah, that was a bit sloppy on the side of Miracle. RRR actually gets a chance to potentially come back in this game as a result. Kong, very aggressive here. Does not have the sustained healing Miracle has, though, against this percent-based damage. Very risky. A lot of respect this time for Crazy Moving. His positioning, not going to be hyper-aggressive. Does poke in a little bit.
Sanctification is online in 4 seconds and Tormented Soul in 7, but they're going in all.
Okay, good shield.
Right.
Good shield there onto Crazy Moving coming out from Tyrael. MSG very low. Sank comes in with the Tormented Souls. This could be the last fight of the game as Judy is reminding everybody the power of Malthel through this game. I think he was the most oppressive player. His percent-based damage won them a lot of these fights, allowed Trace to get those final picks. Ooh, that's 4 dead.
You are already dead right there as he turns around right after the percent damage lands on him right there. That was a risky one, as RR made a choice to go in right before the Heroics came back online for Miracle, but they gained enough time and they were even winning the team fight even before. The focusing was not there for RRR at the moment, and Miracle really turned that around from having Tracer annoying and having all their DPS damage from the sidelines.
Okay, half shield here. This is going to be a lot of siege damage on the side of this Immortal. They don't have a lot of poke otherwise. Like, Tracer can poke structures, but she does it so at such a short range that they have to actually play really passive. RR should abuse this fact, try to use Greymane to poke as they can. They have a lot of cocktail damage they can use to poke. She needs to make sure she maximizes her W value here, maintains it. Already lost it here, actually, sadly, but if she can keep that going, then that could actually help poke this down. The keep is already gone, but they can defend this push if they execute this correctly. Stim Drone, though, might be in the call.
He will die. There's no protective tool. Remember, it was not locked at 10. So they can go all in even without the Tormented Soul. Judy is just having fun in the back line of the opponent team.
Okay, Divine Storm here.
Ancestral 10% of the HP. That was required.
All right, that's going to be game over here for game number 1. RR tried as they might. The early game went poorly for them, and things did not transition well with this composition. Divine Storm won them one major team fight, but beyond that, it was mostly domination on the side of Crazy Moving and Judy, the DPS duo here. And well played. At the end of the day, you know, the soul lane did not go well for Phantom in the bot lane or the top lane, both in the early and the mid game there. They got 10 very late. And the Divine Storm choice, I think, was just not going to be the one they needed. The sustain healing coming out from Morales, I think, is vastly underestimated right now. And it feels scary because we're in a meta now where it used to be, oh god, Ariel's sustain healing is so bad, I don't know what to do. Like, just ban Ariel every time. And now it's like, well, can you ban Ariel and Morales? No, you can't. So this is pretty awkward.
Maybe you can from the if you ban Morales and Ariel for the first ban. You leave a lot of other ones open, like Tastar, ETC, even Genji sometimes. Well, maybe, do you think we're going to see Morales first bans coming out?
I think we should. I mean, we have already twice today. And I think that should be the standard. That should be the norm, especially on this map where if you just literally out-sustain your opponent, you cannot lose if you have any real damage realistic to do solo to the Immortal. You 4v5 with Morales, play defensive, use the Immortal, kind of the stuns and stuff that the Immortal provides to kind of give that extra CC, and then you win the race, just like we saw earlier.
And the problem with the old Morales was that she does not have too much escapes, but with the grenade rework, and she can basically make an escape for herself now and provide so much escape for the teammates also. And that's the biggest tool right now.
Her energy as well comes back, whereas mana does not. So, like, in the old days, you would not be able to heal that long. But the energy kind of gives you better opportunities to do so. So that's another change that allows her to basically be there forever. And also, it's better for the lore, by the way. Medics didn't have mana. They had energy, okay?
Yes. It fits StarCraft.
They need to give her a third heroic, give her blind, just like in StarCraft. There you go. That's
Give her isolation just like the Haka. That's too much, I think.
It's permanent in StarCraft, man. Maybe it's like on a 300-second cooldown. One person just, until they die, can't see anything around them, just like isolation.
Even this Morales seems pretty powerful, Wolf. I don't think she needs that.
All right. Well, will likely be the map choice of Miracle. If they go the way that MVP teams have shown us in the past, they'll take us either to Cursed Hollow here, which is a Miracle favorite.
Yes, sir.
Or both MVP teams really like to do Game 2 Sky Temple. So I would imagine it'll be one of those two maps. They could make a liar out of me because sometimes weird things happen. Again, this match doesn't matter for Miracle in terms of standing at all. See how try hard they want to play it.